Okay.
Hello, and welcome back for a fourth time, actually fourth time, because there was a hidden time that we tried. And so now we're going to be doing just a little bit of checking with our audio. Um,
I hear you, Mike. I haven't heard. Well, Brent and I haven't talked yet, so we'll see how this comes through.
Whoa!
I heard Mike sounds clear. You sound clear. I sound loud.
VN in chat says it's fixed. They think so.
Let's go. Yes.
We'll hope. We'll hope.
Oh man. Whew. This is the stuff you don't get to see on all those big professional channels. So welcome to.
I've seen streamers have of technical issues who are invest much more in their setup than us.
Hey, I don't know what you're talking about. This is a multi-free software setup.
Multi-free.
Yeah, there's multiple free softwares at work making this this magic happen. So a big shout out,
pyramided onto each other.
Yeah, so big shout out to all the free companies out there that are really pulling their weight for us. Okay, well, with that being said, we really appreciate everybody that's stuck around to basically, get to the Age of Worms content. Obviously, we're going to be playing some DC20. We apologize for the numerous technical issues that we had delaying the start of our stream, but fingers crossed. It sounds like we've got some confirmation that we don't sound like we're chewing on rocks and putting our voices through some sort of weird, horrible robot modulator.
Tin cans with rocks in them, actually.
Yeah, basically, we just got tin can stream and we're connected to YouTube the old-fashioned way.
That's what we should do. We should all get cans with strings on them.
Yeah, just run it a couple 100 miles from California to Montana. Take that, YouTube. Can't steal my voice for AI that way. Okay. So that being said, welcome back. Let's go ahead and just do some quick introductions about stuff and everything like that. Those of you that have been with us for the last few weeks, we really appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun going through, chatting with people and everything like that as we go through this Age of Worms campaign. The premise being behind why we're doing Age of Worms is we're going to be playing this with multiple systems. Right now, we've been putting a lot of the lion's share of our effort into the DC20 system, and we've been having an absolute blast of a time. Those of you that aren't aware of DC20, DC20 is a new, I'd say it's the dungeon coach's approach to doing high fantasy by taking a lot of the best practices of many other games and putting together in his own unique ways, kind of putting all of his experience together and making something that seems like it's going to be a pretty good product when it's all said and done. It just had its beta release, so if you were a backer, the emails went out just last Thursday or last Saturday, I think, so that you had access to the beta, so you could kind of see what's going on before as they're continuing the releases. But we're not going to be playing the beta today. There's enough changes in there that I decided to hold off and actually read it for a week before we got into the so again, the reason why we're doing it is I haven't had a chance to read through all of it, and we haven't had a chance to adjust the characters and stuff like that. It literally just came out on Saturday, and it was too much work. So not to say that we don't want to try this stuff in the beta rules to get our to see how they're playing and all that stuff. We just haven't had a chance to update ourselves by now. So
by we, Mike means him.
Yeah, me mostly. But so does it have subclasses? I'd have to check really quick. I don't recall it having subclasses in it. It seems like
I think you said it still goes up to only to level 2, right?
Yeah. So it looks like the 0.8 beta only goes up to level 2, and I believe they did add. I think if I remember correctly, they added one class to it. So you do get to see the stretch goal already being fulfilled.
But that's not a subclass. That's
no. That's an actual class, the Spellblade. But like for example, like a wizard, you're a wizard, you have your first 2 spells, and then you get your first subclass feature for level 3, and they just haven't released that information yet. But if you are interested in getting some of this stuff, I believe if I looked on it, the Dungeon Coach does have a lot of the content. Like you can pre-order and stuff like that. I believe I think the Kickstarter page takes you to his site and everything like that now. So, yep, I know I think we're all really excited to see what the subclasses are going to look like for each of these and just how that's gonna change up the game.
Well, just to see the more completed, like all that work expanded on. I think we're all excited to see that and really looking forward to it.
Yeah, especially since the goal here is to see how the characters progress to level 10. I mean, anything after level 10 is like that cherry on top. So we'll be curious to see how it plays after this. So, all right, that was a good question. Any other questions out there before we get this party started?
Before he manages to kill us this week.
Actually, I was impressed that we made it to death stores last week. I forgot that Jeff only has 5 hit points.
Six
hit points. I'm sorry. 6.
I don't have much, but don't. I can't afford you to shortchange me even one. So
it's true. It's true.
Yeah, you forgot. That's why you did the just passive damage that you'd take for every turn until Jeff dies.
Honestly, those acid beetles were pretty nasty. They got both you and Jeff quite a bit. So.
Passive damage in these games is bad.
It hurts. Yes, it solidly connects to the junk.
Ooh, okay, I'm level 10 right now. Ask me anything.
All right, let's go.
Well, I think you could probably take this adventure pretty easily, given what I've seen of how the character scale with between 1 to 2 levels. So level 10 has got to be a whole different beast. Did you just play using the chart provided and kind of elaborate kind of on your own there, or what did you do for level 10? Or I guess the progression through level 10.
And your GM was very kind to give you experience. Ours is not always so kind.
No. I think what I remember about somebody
if it's a table, you can kind of extrapolate what the bonuses are going to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that people have kind of like homebrewed each of the levels just to kind of fill out what it could look like at each point. But there's no official level 10 as far as I'm aware. At least not publicly. There might be some playtesting.
Just do the math. I don't have. I'm not that good at math. I'm not a math teacher. I couldn't play GURPS because I couldn't do the math up front.
That's true.
If you recall.
I believe when I was looking at it, it said like I needed a graphing calculator, and I said, whoa.
It did seem to think you needed a slide rule and several other things in that one game we were trying to figure stuff out with. Well, you just times it by the power of 10, and we're like, what?
I don't want to have to create a logarithm for this. So, any other questions out there before we jump into the adventure and all that stuff? Otherwise, we will get this started. Boom, boom, boom. Opinion on the Spellblade. Probably be next week. Honestly, I've kind of glanced at the new beta document and everything like that. The Spellblade, I've always, I think, if anybody's listened to our past stuff, I've always been a fan of hybrid classes. So you don't necessarily force yourself into one path because I'm afraid of commitment. Mostly like to have my options open, I guess. So I'll be curious to see how it plays out, since they also do have. I think he said that this is kind of like have a paladin at first level kind of thing. So I'll be curious to see what he does with it. But
I think Spellblades are cool. Rules aside, I think they're neat. So that's my current opinion, as much weight as that carries.
Yeah. Yep. So, but yeah, it'll be fun. I don't think we'll have the characters play a Spellblade or anything like that for this particular session, or this particular playthrough. All right. So Okay. Well, we can also catch questions at the end for anything, so we can do that too. So otherwise, as we go through this, these guys aren't opposed to getting advice from chat as to what might be good suggestions, because everybody needs a little inspiration, bardic or otherwise. And so, okay, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Thumbs up. All right, so coming off your fiery confrontation with some acid beetles, both of you have taken a little bit of time to examine their hive, found long dead members of an organization that was represented by an 8-pointed star, a group Kellic seems to be part of. And however, searching their belongings, you don't really see any indication of their true purposes in the Whispering Cairn. Or at this point, all you've really seen are their corpses. You're not really sure if any of them have made it out alive. But you also have kind of set aside some time to lick some wounds, get yourself back in fighting shape and all those kind of things. And so the choices are yours. You still have some areas of the cairn that present some unique challenges. What is your approach and what are you going to do?
I think we were going to take a look at the sickness room, as we've dubbed it, the room that made us not feel so good.
Okay.
And I think what we were going to do is how close can we get? Because if I remember right, basically what happened is the minute that we crossed a barrier, like a plane or a barrier, we started to feel sick, and the minute that we got out, we started to feel fine again. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically. Okay. And so if you can imagine the room, how do I say this? If you can imagine, like, how you had like the one room that led to the hive and the beetles and everything like that, straight opposite of that, in a room that's almost the exact same shape, form, and function, is this room of sickness, as you've dubbed it. The one thing that's different, of course, is that within the room there are 8 slabs that you can see. Now, because you guys basically, as soon as you broke the threshold, basically where the room opened up into the full chamber, that's when you were immediately hit. And started feeling the weakness and fatigue. Towards the very back, though, there was this kind of imposing statue that looked like it was holding on to a rod.
Right. Kind of like the one that we saw in the other room, right?
No, it's not. It doesn't look like that.
Does this actually look like a person? It's not the.
It's no. It's
well, here, let me put it this way.
Okay.
Let me put it this way. We go to the threshold, just before the threshold, where we know we're going to get sick, and we're kind of looking in the room.
Okay.
So go ahead and.
Hit me with an investigation, so you guys can tell me how well you observed the room.
But what does the statue look like while we're doing that?
Oh, so the statue is a red clay looking statue, a very powerfully built warrior. It's wielding kind of a cylinder headed club, and it stands kind of upon a raised stage. Its eyes, the one thing that's interesting about it is it seems as though the eyes, those kind of optical illusions where it looks like it follows you no matter where you go. You always have those kind of eyes that are looking straight at you.
An optical illusion would usually mean that nothing's actually happening, which in this case, I feel like it might be making us sick, so I don't think it's actually an optical illusion, but okay.
I'm just giving you, remember that dragon head where, like as you walk around it, it looks like it follows you everywhere you go? Same kind of feeling here. Like you guys step to the side, but it seems like for whatever reason, the eyes are locked.
I rolled a 19 on my investigation check.
Okay.
I rolled a 10, so go ahead and tell Jeff what he sees, and he can tell me.
A 10 would be good enough to see 2 things in a room.
I'm apparently just looking and going, yep, big room.
Okay. So what's interesting about the room is that, because you guys kind of like walked in and immediately felt that drain on your mental well-being and fatigue and everything like that. So you didn't really study the room last time because, kind of getting surprised by that sudden sickness. However, standing at the threshold, examining the room, Jeff, your eagle eyes are using the most out of the illumination. And what you can see is it's actually pretty interesting. The slabs that you see kind of like, remember last time how you saw that large beetle that was in here? So the large beetle, it looks as though it climbed on top of one of those long bed-shaped slabs. But right now, it actually looks as though the carapace of the beetle, it's basically splatted open. You see the hind end of the torso is like that up in there. The legs have kind of moved awkwardly, but there's just bug goo that represents where the head and part of the upper thorax would have been. You also see at the very end, you see what looks to be like maybe a figure or something like that. It's kind of pushed behind the slab closest to the statue. But you also see that there's some discoloration, probably indicative of some dried blood on that slab as well.
If I didn't know better, Brom, I'd say the statue killed the beetle. Do I see anything hanging off the staff or the rod that it has in its hand? Like bug guts or blood or
It looks as though the kind of the club and everything like that. It does look like it has discoloration, but anything that it's on there, it looks like it's probably dried. It doesn't like it's not like fresh ichor and goo.
But there's no. I mean, we could be able to tell if it was blood stains on it or dried blood.
Yeah, it looks like it could be, but like I said, it is a reddish colored clay. Clay is kind of a red colored clay, so it is hard to tell exactly that it's blood. I think the bug goo makes more of an impression.
How far away is the statue?
Just a second. So the statue from you is about 35 feet.
So 6 or 7 spaces.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we have it looks like
that's a big room.
2 things laid down on the stone slabs, which I'm assuming were beds, and then got bashed. So don't lay down on a bed. That's what my guess is. It's just a guess.
That's the best leap of logic ever. Don't lay down. It seems to hit things when they're laying on.
The bug got on one and something happened to it, and there's another body that laid on one and something happened to it. I'm just saying, the only way you get attacked when you're prone is if you're asleep.
Can you tell what's magic in the room? We're going to abuse those rules that we made up earlier.
Yeah, I mean, so just as at an initial glance, you can pretty much tell that the room itself has some sort of magic that is emanating from something. You can't necessarily pinpoint the source because you're not so close to it, but you know the type of magic that it seems to be dealing with is magic that would be recuperative. But there's a lace of something in there that you feel is what's gotten you guys in the past.
Is there anything else worth investigating in the room? Did anything else make me want to, look closer? I mean, I see the statue, but
the only thing that really, I mean, other than getting closer to the statue itself, examining what could be on the far side of that slab is a useful endeavor, possibly. The room itself is rather plain, and if you didn't know better, I mean, it almost looks like you could literally lay down in here and sleep. There's no like window dressings, no extra carvings on the wall.
I'm not laying down in here and sleeping.
Great!
If you want to try laying down in here and sleeping, I will stand guard over you.
Oh, great statue of triage! We are healthy people. Don't bash our heads in.
Yeah. Let's see how far we can make it in and see if we can check on what's on the other side of that slab.
Okay. So really it's going to be make a mental save. So whatever your best mental.
Alrighty.
All right. You got to protect your chickens and your mentals. So let's go.
So what would that be?
So in this case, it would be it'd be your D20 plus your attribute, and then of course your combat mastery if it's a skill, if it's the one that you have your save checked in there.
Oh, let me look.
Oh, and then I get 2 more for mastery.
No, not mastery.
So it would just be my intelligence. It would be D20 plus my intelligence then, because I don't have a dot in it, right?
Correct. Yeah, and it would be your combat mastery should be 1 at level 2.
Cool.
Oh, it would just be 1. So for me, whether I use charisma or intelligence, it's just +3.
Creating the statue wasn't that bad of an idea. Yeah. It hasn't responded yet, so it's unsure.
All right, I got a 9. Brent got a 16.
Okay, so it's a tale. 2 very different tales happen. As soon as you walk in, Jeff, you pretty much feel like your shoulders slump forward. It almost feels like you've been pulled 2 consecutive all-nighters, transcribing various spell books for Alistan. You are so tired and fatigued. You'd almost want it like you're having a hard time standing upright. And this is like immediately upon entering. Brent, you feel like your eyes burn a little bit from like the fatigue, but you actually feel like you're much better than the last time you came in.
Maybe we shouldn't go in.
We have one of the bags that we got an extra bag off of one of the people, right? Was it like a backpack bag, or was it like a little pouch?
They're all like rucksacks, satchels, and stuff like that. So you could put stuff in there if you need to.
Would it fit over the statue's head?
Yeah, you could. Empty it, put it over the statue's head. That's fine.
Well, that's the first thing I'm going to do, because I don't want its creepy eyes staring at me anymore.
Okay. So you make your way up to the so I guess you're going to make your way up to the statue to cover its head, the bag, and Jeff, you are going to
step back into the doorway threshold.
Okay.
See if the effect wears off.
Okay. So basically, you slog your way back to the threshold as Brent is making his way towards the statue. Are you being cautious about this? Are you just?
I'm assuming you're talking to Brom and not
Brom. Yeah. No. I'm not being that cautious about it. I'm convinced that if I lay down on the table, it's going to hit me. Not if it's going to hit me just by walking up to it.
Fair enough. Okay. So as soon as you exit the room, Jeff, you feel like immediately the weight of all that fatigue just falls off, like it sheds off your shoulders. And Brom gets up to the statue, kind of shimmies
and
up.
I say, I'm sorry to do this, but your eyes are creeping me out. And then I put some over his head.
You apologize. Okay.
So basically, and the weird part about it is as you get closer, it seems like those eyes continue to stare at you until the very last second you pull the bag over its head, and then you kind of jump down, knowing that it's probably still staring at you, but at least you can't see it.
Nothing else happens?
Nope.
Okay.
Nothing else.
I yell at Zevrox, try now.
Okay. I yell at you. Try and take the club out of its hand.
Okay, we'll try coming in the room first and see.
All right, I start walking into the room.
Okay, as opposed to letting you just make resistance saves over and over again, I'm going to say in this case that fatigue hits you again.
Okay, still nothing. Okay, I'll try and take the club out of the thing's hand. Does it slide out like the last one?
No. If you want to, you can basically. You could try to pull the great club out, but why don't you make a athletics check for me?
Ooh.
And exactly how are you trying to take it out? Are you just trying to like sword of the stone kind of approach, or?
Yeah, I go around to the other side and I kind of grab it and try and pull it out.
Okay.
That would be D20 plus 5, right?
It should be based on what I remember from your character sheet.
My might is 3. My athletics is 1. So is it just 4 or 5? No, because it's my combat mastery too, right?
Let's see here. So I'm pulling your character sheet up right now. So your athletics, so you have 3 for your might, then your athletics is going to be another 2. And so this being that your combat mastery shouldn't be in this one. Because it's as a skill check, it's just, or no, I guess it's D20 plus your prime modifier plus your combat mastery.
Plus 2.
I guess so.
So it's 6 or 5?
Oh no, it's just your skill mastery. My apologies. Yeah, I was looking at the wrong thing. So D20 plus attribute plus skill mastery C, so it's 5.
How can I be so strong and roll so bad?
Yeah. So what? Let's see. I don't have Discord open because I've closed everything down.
You got an 8.
I rolled an 8.
Okay. So needless to say, the grip of the heavily muscled carved from stone warrior appears to be gripping this club tightly.
Does it feel like he grips it tightly, or does it feel like when you pull on something and someone tightens their hand? Does it feel like that, or does it feel like it's just a part of the statue? Would you like me to roll again for something for that?
No, it's a good question. The statue itself feels solid, so I would put it in that latter category. Like, it doesn't adjust to you. It just basically, when you go to rip on it, like you can kind of spin it in there a little bit, but the way that the hand is gripped on the club, you can't pull it out.
Okay, so it's not the eyes of the thing that's making Zevrock sick. I say, what else do you think it could be that's making?
It's some sort of enchantment. I can't get far enough into the room. I yell from the doorway again.
We're basically yelling back and forth across the room. That's fine. Yeah. I look around for anything else that looks weird besides the statue.
Since you're at the statue, which is, if the entrance is on one side, the statue is opposite of the entrance, you can basically see that there's a body with a crushed skull that has fallen off the slab closest.
I rolled for inadequacy and failed, apparently.
That's funny. You do have stronger muscles than I. I will back down.
Okay, well, I'll check the body then. Of Smashed Head Man. Smashed Head Man body.
Yeah. Okay. So basically what you see a person that wears kind of that reddish tinged leather armor. Emblazoned over the heart is an 8-pointed symbol. And you also see on one of their old withered hands a silver ring that also has an 8-pointed star.
Okay, I'll take whatever I think Zevrox might be interested in. Ring, I'll tear off the patch.
Okay.
Is there anything else on the body?
Mm-mm.
How desiccated is the body? Is it like mummified like the other ones, or is it like
It's basically what you would expect for a body that has been out for tens of 20s of years. It's not desiccated because it wasn't in a position where it was covered in anything, not like a bog mummy or anything like that. It was just kind of exposed to open air.
So it's just bones.
Yeah, it's been picked clean by other beetles that made it in and out, etc., etc.
So can I pick it up and put it back on the slab and see what happens? Or does it just fall apart the minute that I pick it up? Oh, I stumped you.
Stumped the DM. There we go. Let's go.
You can put it on there if you'd like. The body, obviously, that you can kind of gather up the corpse as best as you can. Bits of bone fall off here and there, but you can put a vast majority of the corpse on the slab if you'd like.
Okay, I put it back on the slab and jump back.
Okay,
just in case the hammer starts slamming on the body.
Basically Mario style, like bam, bam, bam.
Yeah, Donkey. In case somebody Donkey Kongs the body.
It's a working theory. It's a working theory. We don't have a live body to put on there, so we'll put a dead one on there. I applaud it.
So putting it on the slab and kind of jumping back, expecting something to happen, you notice nothing change.
It's probably because I covered up his head. Okay, I bring you back the stuff.
Do you take your cursory bag off of its head?
No. Nope. It was an extra bag. Gonna go ahead and leave it there.
Do you want to lay down on the bed closest to the doorway? And I'll watch.
You're the one that doesn't feel well, so would you like to lay on the bed closest to the doorway?
You might be able to make it out. I might not.
I lay down on the bed with my shield over my face.
You might still get a concussion that way. Might, maybe not. No,
So, yeah.
I say we leave the room. I mean, it's more of this 8-pointed star business.
Yeah, there was a body in there. This is what was in there. I didn't see anything else of interest other than the guy.
The bodies seem to be old, though. Again, like they sent somebody down here, probably somebody that didn't even know, what's his name?
They're probably
Kellic
mercenaries. Like you were telling you, I think you told me about Kellic, and he had mercenaries that were adventurers.
Yeah, but the other bodies seem like older than Kellic. Like they seem like they've been dead longer than he'd been alive. So, not that I can tell.
That one had been there for a while too.
Okay. So I guess we just have the water room left, right?
Yes.
So you said there were stairs going down into the water when we were there last week?
Yeah, we walk out, there's like a platform, and then there's stairs that are covered by water, but the platform isn't, right?
Yeah, so basically there's a landing, the stairs go down, and they descend into the water.
How many steps before you hit the water?
3, 4, maybe?
Okay. 3
How
steps.
deep is the water?
You can't tell without going inside.
Well, I pull out my staff, the one that I pulled from upstairs, excuse me.
Yeah.
And I dip it in the water
we
to see how far
effectively have a 10-foot pole, so 6-foot pole, 8-foot pole. I don't know.
As you
it was basically it's a staff, so it's like 5 or maybe 6, but I can get some kind of idea.
So what you're saying is you basically jab it into the water and swirl it around a bit and see what you hit?
No, I'm soaking it down in the water. Like I'm off the platform. I'm sliding it down the side of the stairs to see how far down it goes and see if I hit anything.
Well, it looks like you can continue to touch the stairs as you plop down each level. It does, and by the time you reach the end of its length, you still have. It feels like you could still continue going.
All right, so I could basically get to the end of the pole.
All right,
and not hit anything.
Correct.
Okay.
Just for fun, why don't you come up out of the water?
Yep, we come back up out of the water.
How far can I see? Like, what does this? I get that it goes down into water, but like, how far can I see? Like, how big can I tell anything about the room that the stairs lead down into?
No, I mean, so from what? So, like, are you basically dipping your head in? Is that what you're trying to do, or like, how are you trying to gauge the room?
I'm standing at the top of the stairs, looking into a room, whether it's filled with water or not. What can I see?
Basically, what it seems like you can see is you can, like, as you look down in the water, it looks like it goes very deep. However, in the deepest most portion, you see probably what looks like maybe a faint glow. You're not really certain that it's outlining very much because all it really seems to do is outline what looks to be the end of the hallway for the staircase.
How far would you say the glow is from me then? An approximation in spaces?
Doing the geometry and all that kind of stuff, you're thinking it's probably about 15 feet down, maybe 20 feet.
To the glow?
To that outline, you're kind of like guessing. It's a very faint glow, though.
I'm going to cast a cantrip lightning bolt into the water.
All right. So I had a serious thought about what this would do. So what do you expect lightning bolt into the water to do?
You managed to anticipate this a little bit?
I think if we're not standing into the water, it's not going to electrify us. But anything standing in that water within... And here, I don't know how DC20 physics work. But in the real world, if a bolt of lightning hit the water within, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 feet, probably most things would die. And anything another 30 or 40 feet past that would be really, really hurt. I'm expecting it to shock something because I think something's in the water. I don't know if it's going to kill him. Well, because I think it's going to hurt them.
Those fish research people, that's essentially what they do is they take like a cattle prod and they electrocute a section of a lake to get all, and all the fish basically float to the top.
Mhm.
So if there's anything alive in there, like I don't know how big the room is, and I don't remember how big like a section it is, but it's pretty big.
Yeah. So I did anticipate this question, and there's really two ways that
It's insane that you're starting to realize how we think.
Because basically this is how it kind of works in D&D and stuff like that, is that there's actually two ways as it changes. So depending on the edition of D&D that you're looking at, either the lightning bolt still functions as a lightning bolt, like functionally it's magic and doesn't really follow the laws of physics the way that like real electricity would. And so the premise that they moved to, at least in the latest editions of D&D, is that if you cast a lightning bolt underwater, it's still a lightning bolt, and anything near the bolt of lightning is unaffected, as though they're not targeted by the spell. Earlier editions did try to use physics and stuff to create a sense of realism that when you cast lightning bolt into it, it turned into a burst spell, or in this case, it could be treated as a cone spell. But I personally feel like from the magic perspective, it'll be easier to manage if we did the newest edition. It's a lightning bolt. It goes straight through, zaps whatever is in its way, obviously, and of course would illuminate the pathway, but it's not going to like create an electric shock so powerful that it will, like, everything would just die in this section.
That's fine.
Well, illumination is good, at least, I guess.
Yeah. So hopefully that's a fair.
They don't have a light. They don't have a light spell in this game, do they?
They do, but it's under a different spell list.
It's under a different spell list. Yeah, I don't have the spell list.
Nope. However, and there's a Kraken. It is. I think we just missed Kraken week, so I did miss my opportunity to include a Kraken in this subterranean section. But in the holy section, you do have a conjuration light cantrip. Now, the one thing I did say, and the reason I thought about it like this, is because I said, okay, well, what happens is if you decide to create a lightning orb, because that's one of the ways in which you can use lightning bolt.
I can use lightning bolt that way. Yeah, I can actually create a lightning orb.
So because if you take what I've described how lightning bolts work, then what you could effectively do is create a lightning orb underwater and not have it kill you.
Oh, that's true. To light the way.
The hard part is the spell ends, though, if I stop using both hands. So the second that I have to attack something.
Or swim.
Yeah.
Wait. I just remembered something. So
we have a light source. We have potions where we can breathe. I think you're going to have to kill a water monster. 1 second.
So we found wands earlier, right? I was just looking at the list of stuff we sent.
Yeah, shatter and.
Can you use them?
I would say so.
I'm assuming I can, but I don't.
You could try to shatter the statue, and we could see what happens.
Oh, you mean the statue back in the room?
Yeah.
Brent is really fixated on the statue. He's like, by the way,
he wants his backpack back.
Well, no, I was just like, if we think there's, before we go in the water and potentially, I don't know, drown or whatever, we could see if that works, or we could try it again later. We should just drink the potions and go in the water, and you can light the way for us. That's probably a dumb idea. Attacking the statue is probably a dumb idea.
Twins, would a water monster have electric vulnerability being underwater? Possibly.
Monsters are weakened to electricity in the water in Elden Ring.
So, and just in case you haven't heard this on a previous stream and everything like that, mostly what we're doing is because the adventure path itself comes from the 3.5 edition of Dungeons and Dragons. I've converted the 3.5 versions of the monsters as best as I can, using some dramatic flair here and there to.
Not that there's a monster in this water, right? Right, Mike? Not that could be.
I'm just letting them know if they're wondering why the monsters that they encounter it maybe don't have 5th edition spells or abilities that exist. It's because they're using the 3.5 SRD monsters. But that's not to guarantee that there's a monster in here. That's just to
Yeah, there may not be. So let's
There's a lot of hype here.
It gives us a 10 space. The light is a 10 space radius, Brent. So even underwater, it's 50 feet. So
how far should I just drink the potion and me go in and look? And you
I think we
control
should
the
drink.
lightning
I think we
bolt?
should drink both potions, and I can have it. I can attack with it once. I can pull it up the next.
But I mean,
turn.
you can't swim with it if you're controlling the lightning bolt, though. What are you going to do? Sink yourself
Walk.
to the bottom?
I'm going to walk. Yeah, I can breathe underwater. There's stairs. It's a room that's flooded. It's not like it's a underground cavern.
Is your gnome made of
deep.
concrete? Like people float. Like you like
stuff.
Am I putting all of our shit on you so you sink to the bottom? Like, is that the idea? Are you putting rocks in your pants? I'm confused.
Well, I mean, if you want to take it that way, then there's no way for you to fight underwater either. Like at some point.
Oh yeah, I'm not planning on fighting here. I'm hoping there's something attacks us. We can make it back to the stairs. Like we're gonna have to swim over there. Is my guess. I mean, that's why I suggested me go first and see.
Well, I know you go first, but I got to be behind you to provide light.
But like, how far can you control the orb for? Is what I was saying. Can you
It's
control
in my hands. It's 50 feet from wherever I'm standing, but I have to be in the water too.
I assume kind of like.
I assume kind of like this. Yeah. But I thought we could walk. I thought we'd just walk down the stairs and walk. Like we're ruining all the other physics of water. So
I would say if you wanted to walk across the bottom, I feel like between all of your pack and gear and everything like that, you could. I mean, I don't feel like that's too far-fetched.
Okay, I'm just coming up with a way to do it. So we're basically putting enough stuff on you so you sink to the. So we're basically.
Honestly, I think I have enough stuff just with whatever I'm carrying.
A weight belt, yeah, effectively a weight belt.
Yeah, it's not a perfect walk, but it's kind of like a diver, with a weight belt.
Because we could probably go get some rocks from one of the other rooms and put them in your backpack.
Or you could shatter that statue and.
Which sounded like a dumb idea after I said it, but we have wands.
It might shatter. Might wake up. Who knows?
Okay, so yeah, I guess that's the thing is we'll take the potions of water breathing and walk on the bottom towards the light, I guess. Because there's another light. That's what you said, right? There's a light.
Yeah, there's a gentle glow at the very bottom. It does. You're not exactly sure how much it illuminates, but.
All right. So we drink the potions of water breathing.
Okay.
We now no longer. How long? Alistan would told me how long they lasted, right?
About an hour.
They last
about an hour. Okay.
Yeah.
Then let's go. We drink the 2 potions.
Okay. And much like that effervescent feeling you get in the back of your throat, you suddenly can breathe underwater if you so chose. Now, that's a really expensive potion according to D&D 3.5 rules. I was actually surprised at how expensive they were.
In 3.5, yeah, it would have been. But let's go. You lead the way.
Yep.
I got a lightning bolt,
fast as we can.
Lightning and
fast as we can, walking across. Well, if you have the light, you should technically go first. But anyways, I'll go first.
No, because I can't fight.
Well, I can't fight underwater either. So
you can. If we can walk, you can fight.
Okay.
We can't be totally helpless under here.
All right. So as you guys descend down the stairs, effectively what happens is that the stairs enter into a room. You see that there's kind of like a chest high wall. Well, for you guys, it's more like neck high for Brent, and it's head high for Jeff, I guess. Given that it's a little bit higher than that. And you have 2 ways that go around it, but the wall itself you can look over, and you can see above it you have 2 pillars that are kind of to your right and left that are about 5 foot across, and in the center you see in the center of the room a pillar that's about 10 foot across, and you see that it has these very ornate looking spouts that seem to be protruding from it at regular intervals, all at approximately 8 feet high. The source of light that you see is that there seems to be kind of an intricate scroll work that goes across the top of the central pillar, And it looks like it's probably in that language that you guys have been seeing throughout the entirety of the cairn, but it does give off a gentle glow. You're not sure what it says, though. You do see to the right and left, there are exits to the room, as well as you can see kind of over the wall a little bit, Brett. You see that there appears to be another chest-high wall before an exit out the back of the room.
You want to go left, right, or straight?
I look. You pick.
Let's go left. We'll try and take the shortest direction left. Is there a way that doesn't go into the center of the room and then left? From your description,
you guys could literally go over the chest-high wall if you wanted to do that, but I guess Jeff couldn't. So, you want to go left? You said.
Yes.
Okay. So heading to the left, it opens up and you see that behind the first two smaller pillars, there's actually a matching set of pillars about 10 feet behind them. So really what it looks like, I mean, is 5 total pillars. There's 2 up top, 2 up bottom, and then there's a large center pillar. The room that goes off to the left, it goes down like what looks to be a short hallway, and you can't actually see what's happening behind there. Make an awareness check, everybody.
Awareness
of the fact that you're traveling.
Hey, so there is a monster in the water. Who knew that?
I'm just saying, make an awareness check.
Who knew? $18. Brent got a 14.
Okay. Correct. So, what you can kind of tell is that the water itself, I mean, it looks like it's kind of cloudy and everything like that. And what's really interesting about the area is that it seems as though there is a line of drains that go around that center pillar, and similar to maybe what you see in like a bathhouse or something like that. But those drains actually have been filled with all kinds of muck, and you're not exactly sure who or what or why they would have filled up those drains with muck. And you can kind of tell that from the drains themselves, the water does get a little bit hazy around that area, and you're not sure if there's actually any water coming out of the spouts or if it's still draining, but you do hear kind of like a weird, like a drain that's trying to drain a little bit. But
let's check whatever's to the left and then talk about trying to unplug the drains.
Okay.
Let's keep going to the left. Okay. So as you go through the room itself, I mean, it looks, like I said, it looks very bathhousey. It's not ornate per se, but very functionally situated. Going to the room to the left, you actually get inside what it's an evil drain. Could be. You actually see what looks to be almost like a locker room. You see that there are 4 long benches, niches along the walls that have been kind of carved out where somebody could easily put their stuff or anything like that. And what you see is that there's actually a kind of a corpse that's kind of floating halfway up. It looks as though the corpse has been there for a long time. It wears similar red armor with a golden insignia on the breast. It does have a pack, as well as if you guys want to roll for me what the hell is that called?
Investigation.
Medicine.
Medicine
check.
Okay. I can roll a medicine check.
I rolled an 8. I'm just thinking how bad it is to work for Kellic, apparently. Shit.
Or at least with him.
Brent rolled an 8. I rolled a 1. I got a 6 because I have a +5, but
well, needless to say,
a nat 1.
Well, that body looks dead. It does have a pack.
Let's investigate the pack. What's in the pack?
I think we should just grab the pack and go back to the drain before, like, we don't want to run out of time.
We got an hour. We're about 4 minutes in.
This is
6
taking
minutes.
Just a couple minutes to get, like, kind of. Jeff is obviously like moving forward like this, very cautiously, trying to keep his hands together with the ball of lightning that he's using to illuminate the area.
Okay,
So
I'll look at the pack then.
okay, kind of like taking a cursory look open, you kind of like, being leather, it's kind of annoyingly there, and you kind of make that rip, rip. And the first thing that you notice is like inside there seems to be a red lantern. Very similar to the red lantern or the other lanterns that you had seen
Is it
in that
lit?
sarcophagus room. It is not lit, no.
Okay.
But it could be lit. There is a place to put something lit in there. And then, of course, besides that, you see that it does have what looks to be an intricate-looking short sword on his belt. But that's about it.
Grab the sword, grab the pack. Do we want to go to the drain, or do you want to go across and try and check out what's on the right?
Well, personally, I think we should probably check the drain. Maybe we can unclog it and we can drain off some of the water.
Okay. Let's go check the drains.
Okay.
We've grabbed the sword, the pack, the red lantern.
So going along the center column, you see that the drains themselves have been just filled with muck, all kinds of muck that you're not exactly sure where all of it would have come from. In fact, kind
Any
of like how do
bubbles
you?
coming up out of any of them,
Mm-mm.
showing that something is at least partially draining?
But you do hear a.
So we can see for 50 feet,
Mhm.
right out from my thing. Like as I hold my hands up and turn around the room, can we see anything in the water with us?
Let me take a look here. Do you see anything? Let me read my notes.
I mean, this spell gives surprisingly good light. I don't know how murky the water is, but yeah, 10 space radius. So that's a radius. So I can see we can see 50 feet in any direction, theoretically.
No, you see nothing.
It's very sneaky, whatever it is.
All right. I guess try the quarterstaff, like shove it into a drain and see if you can.
I mean, we
pull
got
the clear one.
We got the lantern. We could probably just go. Or unless you want to explore some more.
Well, this might connect with one of those other things. It might not.
Okay, I'll try the quarterstaff.
Like we don't have. My only thought is, yes, you make sense, but I don't know where the red room goes, or the red elevator if there is one, and we won't be able to breathe underwater again if we don't get back in. If we're here and we have some time and you can get one of the drains draining, maybe we can come back.
Okay, I'll go do Mario's other job on the drain and poke it with a stick.
There we go.
Okay, so you take this very nice fossilized quarterstaff and kind of you hear like that kind of thud, that dampened sound as you're bang at the drain underwater.
Like as in there's a cover of it, or like as in there's something solid in the drain?
Solid. Like it feels like after a few hits, you're like, I don't know if this is gonna drain. And you know what? Why don't we roll for initiative? Of course, there's something in the water.
We knew there was something in the water.
Mm-hmm. But in this case, because of what the preceding events that happened here, you guys are going to be surprised. Dum, dum, dum.
Just tell me what to roll.
So just in case you guys are wondering, surprise is, so in this case, it's considered an ambush. In order to ambush a team, you need to be able to see the other team and the other team not be able to see you, because what I did is I rolled a natural 20 for the creature's sneak around the player's roll. Even though Jeff had an amazing roll with his awareness, it doesn't seem as though he overcame that. So you get the surprised condition. So it means as though this first round you can't spend action points and are considered exposed. So, and attack checks that against you have,
which means you might just be dead, Jeff.
Oh, it might be. We'll have to see.
And
Hopefully it hits me.
so Jeff, because you're kind of standing back illuminating the area, and Brent is the one that's like pounding the water or pounding the drain with his quarterstaff and everything like that.
Which apparently has been filled with concrete.
Concrete light substance. So you got a 7 and a 15. Okay, so starting next turn, you will have first go of it here. So it goes. And basically, Jeff, you actually see it, but Brent has zero awareness of what is happening here. And all of a sudden, let's see here. Okay. So that is so what basically ends up happening is all of a sudden this murky water starts turning around Brent faster and faster and faster and faster until basically Brahm is caught up in this whirlpool-like effect. So in this situation, you will take 2 damage and you will be impaired for the next one. So
what does impaired?
Exposed and impaired.
So impaired is you have disadvantage on physical checks. So in this case, so Brahm is basically twisting around, kind of getting dizzy, and everything like that that's happening.
Hey Jeff, it sounds like you get a thunder wave me.
So
I can't spend action points. I can't do anything this round.
Oh, well, next round.
So next round, it is now Brent's turn.
But I can't spend action points, right?
Oh, you can spend action points this round.
Yeah, you can.
Because basically the first round was you went no action points.
Yeah, it got a free attack.
It did a free vortex on you, and then now it's
so I would have I would have had my shield out as we were walking.
But actually, technically, Jeff could do, I think, a free action because you would be able to do 2 free actions as part of your round. So before we move on to your turn, Brent, I want to give him that option.
No, because I'm holding the light so that he can attack.
Okay.
And then I guess I'll try to hit it with the stick since I have it in my hand.
Okay. Since you are, I guess you're basically capable of doing all weapons as a warrior, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, he's got a masterwork quarterstaff. Let's go. I don't know what masterwork means in DC20, but
and I'm also wielding it one-handed, so that might not be the best use of it either.
No, I've seen Bruce Lee do that. You'll be fine.
So
a long club, basically, at this point.
Yeah, okay. I in my head, Brent, you're actually spinning it like you're creating your own vortex before you strike.
Anti-vortex.
Okay, maneuvers. Just a second here. Oh wait.
You could always drop it, and
yeah,
you could drop it and pull out your.
Is dropping a free? Is dropping it a free action?
Mm-hmm.
And then drawing is an action point, though, right? Right?
No, it's a
free action.
Drawing is also a free action, and you do get 2 per turn. So.
So that's what I'll do. Yeah, I'll drop the stick, draw the axe, and then attack it.
Just kind of swing wildly at the water.
Let's see how this underwater combat goes.
Yeah. Let's see. What do I have? Again, one sec. Let me look and see what I have for. Let me look at my list of stuff. I will just, so I get them. I know I always ask this, but I use my action points this turn, and then I get them back at the end of my turn, right?
Correct.
Okay. So I'll use 1 action point to attack.
Mhm.
And then I guess 3 points for power attack.
Okay.
Because I'm just spinning around, kind of flailing wildly, but with power.
But with
So-
power. Let's go.
So is there any minus or anything to my attack?
No, because in this case your impairment is only on your physical ability, and the advantage was for me to attack you. So
I rolled an 18.
an
Ooh.
18. Nice. So what ends up happening is as you're spinning wildly around,
This really feels like an I attack the darkness moment.
Well, as you basically reach out with your axe, you basically feel it hit water that is harder to split, and your axe actually stops that at a certain point, but you feel like you connected with something. Not exactly sure what though.
Rune's coming with the jokes in chat. I'm blue. If I was green, I would die. Sorry, that was too good to pass up.
So go ahead and tell me what was you rolled an 18, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so total damage. Since we're using the 0.7, it's going to have the 2 for the axe.
Yep.
3 for the damage.
3 for power attack. Yeah.
Okay, so 5 total. All
Yep.
right. So you hear so you hear the bubbling turn from like a into actual language sounding, like language in the water.
I mean,
And
we've been
because-
talking underwater this entire time, so
Yeah, physics is out the window, man.
but you basically, it's like you hear something. It sounds very, it sounds very foreign to your ears, but it actually seems like it's words mixed in with the burbles and plushes and all that stuff. Okay, so after that, what you see, Jeff, is you see Brent basically kind of like lifted into the air, swing wildly, kind of connect with something where his axe stops, and the vortex actually, as soon as he hits it, the vortex stops as well. The thing that you see right now, though, is you basically see this kind of this water that it's almost looks like just murky water forming into this shape that kind of like coalesces around Brent, and it takes him. And then you notice Brent like is going very quickly towards the floor. I'm gonna roll a d20 here.
So did it fling him down? Is that what it looks like to me?
It looks like basically it lifted it up like it was it was like it put him towards the ceiling, and then now you basically see him being pushed faster than he should be able to fall through the water towards the ground.
it's like a slam, basically,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
You're getting choke slammed? Are you fighting the Undertaker?
I hit the water.
We're fighting the undertow.
The undertow.
That's
That was
actually
pretty
really
good.
good.
That was
I like
pretty
it.
good.
Okay. There we go. Attack. So +4. Does a 14 hit you?
Just.
Okay. So in this case, basically you see Brent after he's lifted up just get pushed down rapidly towards the ground. And Brent, you basically just get slammed into the ground. 1 second here. I have to look up one quick thing. Okay. Can you go ahead and roll me an acrobatics check?
Sure. I rolled a 12.
That might be okay in water. Who knows? Water's fighting the gravity for you.
What's your agility?
1.
Okay. So because you were a little bit higher than you expected, going down, you take 2 damage as part of the slam. But I should say in this case 2 damage, and then you are not prone. So
Is this an attack, like a physical attack? So does my armor help?
it does help.
Okay, well then I don't take any damage. I'm just prone.
God, I hate that armor. Okay, so you didn't fall prone, which is too bad, and your armor managed to soak the impact.
Okay, so the armor soaked it, and you're not prone. Okay, so that's not that. These are good things.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, it picked me up, and I landed on my feet.
You landed in a way. You picked you up, and you were able to right yourself as you landed down.
So dwarves in water act like weebles, like they won't fall down. He just pops back up. Woo!
My beard's buoyant. My beard's buoyant.
Okay, so your beard is the buoyant part here.
It brings me back up like that.
Okay. Well, I tried. I'll have to try something else next time. Okay, so Jeff, it is your turn.
Yeah, let's. So can I see a target? Can I have an idea where this thing is?
Yeah, you basically see this coalesced, almost kind of murky water. You can't tell where its head or body would be. You just see a shape in the water. One could say it looks like an ooze, but it almost looks like it does have appendages that swing about.
Can I ask you a rules question?
Sure.
It's a poo demon.
A rules question. Go ahead. Hello, Agile. How are you tonight?
So I had cast lightning bolt. I'm holding the light. Mm-hmm. I can spend an action point to attack with it.
Okay.
Before the end of my turn, can I spend another action point to summon another lightning ball between my hands, or can I not do the same cantrip twice in a round?
Ooh, I did not anticipate that one. So you cast a spell, you make a spell check. Okay. Structure, components, downsides, durations, continuous concentration, areas of effect, danced. That is a good question. So basically what it sounds like you're doing is you're basically you want to cast the ball and then you want to make a new ball.
I'm okay dismissing it and casting another spell, but I'd still like to have light at the end of my round. If I can't do it, I can't do it, and I understand why I wouldn't be able to. But
so what I would say is that because it doesn't seem as though there's a
but it almost feels like I would be making 2 attacks, even though I'm not using the second one to attack. Do you know what I mean? Like, like I'm not trying to do something that is against the rules. I just didn't know what the rules were in this case. If that's
So I mean, as a spellcaster, you can use your action points to cast a spell. It does not appear that there's any limitation on that, other than potentially what the limitation that martial peoples have. It basically, the same limitations that martials have is that the more spells you try to cast in a single round, the more your multiple action penalty increases or whatever.
Right. Except, okay. But I'm not really attacking anything the second time. I'm just calling it to me and
so you would still
it as a light source.
Yeah, but I think you would still need to make a spell casting check, because in this case, since you're in there, you have to spend the lightning orb and all that kind of stuff.
I'll be right back while you were pondering rules questions for majoring.
Is what I would say, because basically the only thing that you would, in this case, if you wanted to conjure it back to have light again, the only thing that you would want to do is not have not have a critical failure effectively, I think. Does that make sense? Because
Okay.
then you have kind of a failure.
Yeah,
to
no,
watch.
I'm fine with however you rule it. I just want to know before I make a decision to.
Sure. So I would say that in this case, you could use the spell as basically as an attack or something like that. You'd basically make a spell attack with it, or if you wanted to dismiss
Okay.
it, I would say you could do that without any.
I'm gonna dismiss it for free.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep. Boom. Just so you know, now your light is dim, and so you are considered dim lit, which does change things.
That's fine. At
Okay.
some point, it was going to be dim lit. So, what does it change? Because I'm gonna cast Frostbolt at whatever's in the water.
Yeah, it basically means that it would be considered partially concealed, and so a partial concealment means that you have disadvantage on awareness checks to seal them and all those kind of things.
But if I'm just attacking it, does it affect my attack roll?
Let me take a look. Seeing in dim light. It is considered partially concealed, so it would be considered -2 a spell check against that while it's
-2. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then I will spend an action point on Frostbolt. I will spend an action point to increase the damage of Frostbolt, and I will spend an action point to try to slow the target.
Okay. Now, in this case, it bursts out from you.
Oh, the best sort of rules, inconsistent ones.
That's just kidding.
All right, so I would normally get a D20 plus 4 on a spell check. So I'm going to do a D20 plus 2. Take the -2 into account.
If you want to do it that way, sure.
Well, I could do +4 -2, but
that seems like too much math.
Does an 11 hit?
So basically, as the effectively, you just immediately drop your light. You conjure your Frostbolt using your incantation. You send it off in that direction, and you swear it would have been there, but it travels. The frost just travels through and kind of like the mists off the concrete pillar.
All right, and then I'm going to spend my last action point to summon. I'm going to use the lightning bolt cantrip and use it as a lightning orb.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm not attacking anything. I'm just making the.
Yeah, let's go ahead and just say it. By creating the light again, you're able to create the light without any roll there.
Okay. So we have light again, Brent, but I missed. I'm sorry. I was trying to slow it for you, which would only hurt it if it tried to get away, because it would move at half speed, but oh well.
I find being a marshal weirdly effective, so I think it's okay. Maybe. I mean, I shouldn't say that.
I tried, man. I tried to make something happen. I tried to make the magic.
There's more turns.
It did not happen. I know.
I'm not dead yet, and we're not drowning yet. It's when Mike's like, "Okay, your hour's up," and then that's when we're.
That was the longest combat ever. It was 2 rounds of combat, full hour. You're now dead.
Things slow down quite a bit when you.
It was me poking at the drain for the 45 minutes that Mike didn't tell us.
Well, I thought there was multiple drains. I was about to tell you to move on to the next one before we got attacked.
Oh, and I did forget. One of the things about underwater combat, if you're using a weapon that isn't a crossbow or a spear, you do have disadvantage with this currently iteration. So you got that freebie on me, Brent. But
all right, Brent, just roll 2 nat 20s. Let's go.
So what are you planning on doing this time?
The same thing.
Severing it from its connection to life.
So same thing, 1 for attack, and then the 3 for power attack.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't do so well that time. I rolled an 11. Which I assume does nothing to the concrete water bottom.
Well, you're at disadvantage, so
Yeah.
all you
So
can do
the
is
only
make
thing-
that worse, right?
Yeah, you could make that worse if you'd like. Go ahead and roll for me again.
Oh, I have disadvantage.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least Kraken week's over. You're right, Monk.
No, I didn't make it any better, but I didn't
Well,
make
you
it
had a
worse.
13 on the other one. Man, you didn't make it worse, but it doesn't
Okay.
appear to be a hit.
So let's do this.
Shark Week, let's go.
Okay. 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 All right. So in a flurry of attacks, it seems as though what it's going to do here is that it takes you takes you, Brent, and it first of all, like, basically the water slams you. So I'm going to roll this right here. How many points do I have? Okay. It slams you. Boom. Never mind. It apparently slams into you, but doesn't really do any well. Apparently slams at you again because it's really angry at you. Okay. And then using the last of its abilities, you can tell that it whirlpools around you again, taking 2 damage, and you suffer impaired this time.
Oh yeah, you did do 2 damage to me. Okay, so you did. So I lied. He's done 2 damage to me. Now he's done 4 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm assuming that that isn't reduced by my armor.
Correct. Yeah.
What exactly is hurting me about the vortex? Him spinning me around.
Basically, the toss, the tumble, the getting slammed up against the stone pillar right next to you, like any number of things.
If getting slammed on the ground.
Well, you didn't get slammed on the ground.
That
That was a really cinematic waste of my effort.
Oh, okay.
It looked cool, but the mechanics behind it were just like he was trying to push you to the ground, and you were just like, I am so cool that this doesn't work. So he's got to change tact.
Because it seems like his tactic is drowning people, which at this point he's not going to be good at.
The whirlpool seems to be his best tactic for drowning.
Well, yeah, because it does passive damage again. So yes. So I think it's your turn. It's Jeff's turn. Yes.
Okay, I am going to try the same thing. I'm going to release the lightning orb and try the frost cantrip.
Okay, and a point of note: the action points for cantrips is really helpful. I really do like that you're not having to spend mana points on any of this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I could use. I do have some mana points left, but I am trying to not at this point. So he's still partially concealed from me because it's now dark or dim again, right?
Mm-hmm.
So +2. I rolled an 18 +2 is a 20. So
a dirty 20.
That is 3 points of cold damage. I don't know.
So Stas, he was actually doing a few things here.
Yeah.
What he didn't mention, or at least clearly articulate, is he was doing the attack. So he was dropping his lightning, doing the attack, adding plus damage, and adding the slow effects to give it slow.
So that's 4, right?
Yeah, I believe. I think
yeah, he's got a roll to see if he saves.
Yeah. So there was a lot of stuff that he had because he.
Yeah, sorry, I said it last time. I should have said it again. Sometimes I am a lazy player. I will endeavor to list out my action points so that at least the GM can
follow along.
So really quick to diverge a little bit for you may have actually answered this last time, Saz. For like exposed on marshals. Does the
Mhm.
exposed count for the attack that's happening, or is it just for the next round?
So the
Go
way
ahead. Now that Snoz is that out there. Go ahead, guys.
so the way that I at least took it in terms is that you're when you created a situation like exposed, you're forcing me to do a save against it. And so basically it opens up the NPC mob creature, whatever it is, to an attack that next so that attacks against you have advantage or whatever it is. So you know what I'm saying? So once you've applied that, for lack of a better word to say, tag to me that you've exposed me. Like if you exposed me at the end of the round, like let's say you attacked me and then said, "Oh, okay, well I'll use my last action point to do an exposed," then I would go to the end of your next round or whatever it is.
Yeah, I would assume that he's not slow. Because one of the reasons I want to slow him is because I do an extra damage to slowed creatures. But
yeah,
that's a passive part of the cantrip. But I'm assuming that on this casting of the cantrip, even if he fails, I'm assuming that I don't get that extra point of damage because all of that kind of happens simultaneously. If I hit him again the next time, then I'm going to get my free extra point of damage.
correct.
Is
Yeah, because
kind of what I'm assuming.
So for you, because your slow effect takes kind of play, I hate to break this down like it's a Magic the Gathering turn.
No, that's
Like
fine.
I don't know
Oh,
why.
Are we gonna start talking about the stack?
Yeah, let's get the stat going.
Okay, upkeep. Who untaps their land? Is that how it's still played? I haven't played in so long.
Yeah, but the stack is like an effect, and then okay, I counter this effect.
Mhm.
Okay, I counter this
and they
effect.
stack, and then they resolve.
And then you resolve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least in the old days in reverse order.
So in your case, Brent, like I said, if you by doing the maneuver at the start of your turn, you expose it to the next attack that could do the
But
damage.
I think action points are all happening at the same time. Is kind of like cinematically what I saw it as is you're exposing them for the next attack with the attack. But if it works that way, that's mechanically I'm 100% fine with it because it's good.
I am too. So
yeah, so wrong.
Right. This turn, as far as I'm concerned, he's taken 3 cold damage, and he's got to save against the slowed effect.
Mm-hmm. He is considered slow. So really what happens is you know how when you see like that super chilled water and everything like that, where it kind of like slowly has ice crystals formulate through the bottle and everything like that? Well, you get that effect, but it seems as though what it manages to do is the ice crystals as they're forming create this outline of what you know to be a water elemental.
Okay.
Yeah. So the reason, the reason why I was applying it to the current attack is because it's a save maneuver as opposed to attack, and so I was kind of treating them as separate actions individually. Because when you do the when you do like a triple attack in a turn, you know, you do 1 attack, 2 attack, 3 attack, you get more and more disadvantage. So I don't know.
Yeah, it makes more. I think the intent of the rule, and we can discuss We can discuss rules as written versus rules as intended. How we want, but I think the intent is that it exposes them for the next attacks, and like you're using a maneuver to open them up for someone else.
Okay.
But you know.
Yeah, no, we derail ourselves like all the time. So you got to see our home game sometimes. We stay on track here. So yeah, don't worry about it. We're just trying to keep up with chat and answer questions, because one of the reasons that we're playing a game system that isn't fully released is so that people can get an idea of how it plays. Are we playing it perfectly? No. And what kinds of confusion happens and what kinds of questions come up, and having the group help us out, because we're in no way saying that we know this system like the dungeon coach does, because we don't.
Yeah, and both Agile and Snoz are very knowledgeable about the rules, so that makes sense. So we can just do it that way from now on. That's fine with me.
Yeah,
it just means I'll be using it less.
Sure.
All right, but still, I did attack that time for 3, and the lights back. All Brent sees as he's getting thrown into the walls.
It looks like he's juggling.
The lights on.
From
it's
Mike.
off.
Yeah.
The lights on.
I think I'm in a rave.
with the world's slowest strobe light. All right.
So are you gonna try to hit it again?
At least I'm trying to provide light so you don't get any minuses.
You have done well. I mean, you hit it.
I hit it, man. 3 cold damage. That's all I'm saying, and it's slowed now. So if I hit it next turn, it's 4 cold damage. So who knows?
Okay. Yeah. So. All right. So
Yeah.
we'll have the save maneuvers happen as you said there. So okay, back at the game. Where were we? So you did 3 points of damage, Jeff.
Yes, cold damage. I don't know that it's if the cold damage matters, but yeah, it's 3.
Okay. So I guess that would mean so if you did a maneuver in there, that would be wrapped up into the same attack, exposing them. Then that's what it's trying to imply, and that's what you read it as, Brent.
Yeah. Cinematically, that's like it would be like I was thinking about a real fight. It would be like doing something to set them up for the next thing I'm going to do, which in game terms would have to be split up. Like it wouldn't be split up usually between rounds.
Sure.
In game worms.
Okay. Well, that makes perfect sense, and so I will stand corrected.
Well, I don't think it's that. I just want to make sure we were doing it right.
Correct. Yeah.
I don't want to give myself any advantages on that I'm not allowed because when I roll like shit, I wanted to reflect that I roll like shit.
That's fair. And I was just giving you that benefit of the doubt, saying, you know what, he really needs this.
You were, and I appreciate that.
So my brain maybe just read it the most generously that it could, but that instead of really trying to appreciate.
Brent is good at fighting against himself, that's for sure. So I'll spend 1 for attack, and then I'll do the last 3 for power attack again.
Okay.
Ooh, I should have not argued so much against that exposed thing.
Yeah. Ooh, now who likes Mike's generous interpretation of the rules now?
Brent rolled a 7 for everybody.
1 more and you would have got that critical failure I was hoping for. So, okay. So in this case, basically it stops the whirlpool and Brent is going to attack you 3 different times. Okay. An 18 on the first attack.
Ew.
A 6 on the second attack.
Well, the first one hit me.
Yep. Well, that didn't.
I am against the 35.
I'm saying I got a 6 on that last one.
I think you're cheating. If you're rolling a 35 on a.
I am not rolling a 35. Okay, so it's
a good point.
That would be a good point.
You can spend a point to give yourself advantage?
You can.
Yeah, you can actually give yourself like super advantage if I remember correctly, because you can spend as many AP points as you want to give yourself advantage when you're doing it. Just like you can go through like a flurry of attacks.
If an attack's really important, sure.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. It's not as Gobbler. I hadn't thought of it that particular way.
And I didn't really think that you could do that, but
so
we won't be spending 3 on power attack every turn anymore.
That's fair.
Okay.
Oh, and I can use stamina. I need to remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got stamina points.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so where were we? I had attack you, and so I did.
It attacked Brent 3 times and hit once
for 2 points of damage.
But is that physical damage?
Yes, it is.
And my boy's armor just absorbed that?
I believe so.
2 points?
All right.
It's only 2 points? That was 2 points of damage?
Only 2 points.
Okay, then yeah, I don't take any damage.
Okay.
If there's 2 points of damage, then yeah.
So it's my turn?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Drop the light. Spend an action point on Frostbolt. Spend an action point to increase the damage. spend an action point to slow, so that's 3. And then after the attack, I will spend
Would
another
you-
action point to do lightning bolt.
Would you want to spend like what would be the benefit of slowing it since it's already slowed? Just out of curiosity.
Once it's slowed. Oh, okay. So
It failed its last.
it failed. It failed. So it's slowed for. I thought it was only slowed for like a turn. So I was. I'm not trying to get additional damage. I'm trying to keep it slowed so I keep getting the free damage.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Until the end of your next turn.
Okay. So yes. So I'm trying to slow it again.
Okay.
It's still slowed, but I want the free damage on this attack, and then I try and slow it for next turn to get free damage on the next attack if there is one.
Okay, just want to make sure I understood what you were.
No, that's my thought process.
Gotcha.
If there is one. Good call,
Okay, but it's the light flashes out, and that is a crit. Yes, let's go. That's a 22, a 20 plus 2.
Okay, so 20 plus 2. So in this case, so critical. Okay, so you do 2 points of damage for the frostbolt just to start, right?
Right.
And so you do 2 points of damage for that. Then you do a 3rd point of damage because you have the slowed, and
Right.
then
a 4th point of damage because I spent an action point to increase the damage.
Fourth point here.
Is the 22 a heavy hit?
22 is considered a heavy hit, but it is not brutal. So you do an extra point of damage for that. And so then you 5. Do 2 more points of damage for the critical hit.
So 7. 7 points of cold damage.
Wow. That's the biggest hit of the game so far.
Holy shit. When it happens, man, it feels good. I'm done.
So yeah, so basically so as it stands, you fire that frostbolt into it, kind of seeing that coalesced kind of slushy water within the water itself, and you just hit it with that extra that frostbolt. It turns everything into a solid chunk of ice. You hear what sounds to be like an anguished cry that kind of like, and then suddenly is cut off, and the ice kind of just like turns and twists in the water without any sort of intention.
We killed a water elemental.
You killed a water elemental. I killed the earth elemental.
Dude, you hit it. You hit it for 5. Come on, you started that thing off. After that surprise round, you turned the tide.
So it's funny though, Brent, is that technically the way we were playing it, we could just say that you were giving yourself advantage the entire time.
We could, yeah. That's
you were just calling it exposing it because that's what you wanted to do.
Basically, I think that what you're doing there is like you're using your tank to expose it for like another marshal who's hitting it with a 200 weapon. Is what that would be.
Yeah, that seems like a pretty smart thing.
All right. Do you want to try to clear the drain some more? Like, is it just one drain, Mike, or is there several drains that we can try to clear?
So as you look at it, you see that it's basically several drains, and there looks to be decades of muck and mire that has been shoveled into them. And like a quick glance, and you're no plumber, it would seem that this is an impossible task.
Okay. Then let's move across to the room that from where we entered would have been the right. We're in the center now, right?
Correct.
We checked the left, so let's go to the right. I'm assuming there's not anything to loot off of a water elemental.
I mean, other than you could take an ice cube with you,
armbands or anything. Yeah.
No, it did like a magical dagger didn't pop out into the water from it or anything.
It wasn't wearing a fez or anything.
All of my water elementals from now on will be wearing fezzes.
Okay. So you know you're running into a water elemental.
Yeah. I know.
Why is that fez floating in the water?
From now on, all of my elementals are going to be indicated by hats. Different hats. It'll probably be a cowboy hat for like an earth elemental. One of the spinny hats for like air elementals.
All right. Yeah.
That's
Let's cross. Okay. We can't. Yeah. We pick up the stick, the quarterstaff.
okay.
But if we can't do the drains, let's not waste any more of the potion. Let's go check
Okay.
the right side room.
So basically, going across the other way, you run
We
into
check
a
for more
room.
drains. We check for other drains.
There's all the drains are clogged, every single one of them.
Okay, good to know.
So
We should have brought the plunger.
+2.
+2 plunger.
Yeah.
The across the way, you find what looks to be almost a mirror image of the room. Basically the room that you had just left with the other kind of floating corpse. However, getting into this one, you see that instead of having like a solid corpse here, you actually find that there is pieces of a body that are just floating amongst everything, and over towards the niches where the like cubbies are and everything like that.
This is the blender room.
Yeah, smash, blend, all the kind of good stuff. You see that there's basically like kind of tattered clothes. You see a pouch, and you see that there's on a hand there's actually a golden ring that's kind of like floating in there.
Since we seem to be getting good at stealing jewelry, I guess we take the golden ring and the pouch.
We take the golden ring. Anything else to search, Mike?
No, it doesn't seem as though there is. Although in the pouch, as you pull it closer, you do feel that there is possibly a book or a small journal-sized thing there.
And then we'll take the pouch as well.
Okay.
So we have the gold ring in the pouch.
All the drains are clogged. A desperate GM, I hear. No. This is adventure as written. I had nothing to do with these drains.
He means that you didn't let us just go around to all the drains and check them all.
Oh, I mean, yeah, there's that too.
To which you see my comment, which was really it's just a kindness because we just would have been doing that and then drowned.
Okay, I need you to roll your plumbing check.
We rolled a 27 this time. No, that just doesn't appear to be good enough.
Okay,
given the tools that you got and the amount of clogging.
I really think you could take brewing and turn this into a plumbing skill, Brent. You've got proficiency in it.
All right, so let's try to go out. Let's try to go out the other stairs the 4 set of stairs that we haven't checked.
That isn't a set of stairs; it's just a door, and it actually goes to a nice looking privy, very private toilet.
How thoroughly do you want to search the privy?
Oh, I searched the one upstairs. It's your turn. It's your turn.
All right. Is there anything worth searching?
No. I mean,
okay. All right. So we will, I guess, exit the water then.
Okay. Into Snaz's question, there is a pointed star on this gold ring as well, but as opposed to the other rings that they've seen, this one being gold is kind of unique. Actually, the water elemental was the drain manager. As you can tell, he was pretty unhappy with his current setup. But it makes for a much more fun encounter.
He could have asked us to help instead of trying to murder us.
So we do have the red lantern, though, now.
We do.
Okay.
So let's head back to the sarcophagus room.
Yep.
Yeah. So basically, do you guys go out the thing? You slop a few feet as you're going all the way to the acid etched handholds. Climb your way up into the sarcophagus room, and just put the lantern up, and what do you do there?
Oh, I do peek in the room and see if the bag's still on the statue's head.
It is.
Okay.
You can think it's giving you the finger though, but you're not sure which one.
I'm just glad it's there for posterity's sake.
Forevermore.
Forevermore.
So getting up there, like you just put the lantern up, or what do you do?
Yeah, we'll take it up there and put it up.
Yeah, we'll put the lantern up and then
Did we have to
turn the
light?
sarcophagus. Yeah, we have to put it.
Did we light the other ones?
Yeah, we lit the other ones.
So yeah, we'll light it. Turn the thing toward it, light it, put it up, light it, turn the thing towards it.
Okay. So actually pointing the sarcophagus towards this red area doesn't do anything. But before you have a chance to do that, just a moment. I'm just making sure there's nothing.
Yeah, I mean, does just lighting it and hanging it trigger anything?
Nah, the whole floor just falls out from under him. The whole thing.
Well, so lighting it, putting it up there, you almost feel like a surge of magic as it feels like the lantern connects to something central. You do see, as you kind of look about, you see that the blue lantern is wiggling a little bit, kind of waving in what seems to be a sudden wind, ever so gently.
We lit all the colored lanterns. We summoned Captain Planet.
Okay, so we need to check out the blue again, but let's try and turn the sarcophagus and see if it calls an elevator or anything for the red.
To red?
Yeah.
So as you push it counterclockwise, clicking in each of the spots, doing its various things as it gets all the way through. Of course, not sure if there's that one elevator you haven't gone into that looks sort of inviting with all the crushed bones, but
the smashy one? No, I think we're good. I think we're good at avoiding that one.
You put it back to the red slot and nothing happens. It looks as though it just comes to rest, the sarcophagus pointing towards the red, and nothing happens. So, but I mean, really the only thing you could try to open. That's a good joke. Rum for my mummy. I like it. So there's nothing that happens. Like I said, the only thing that really happened after putting that up was
the blue leads to the wind puzzle, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
I guess let's go back. Let's climb back up and see if anything, because we have an idea where the trigger is now. We can see if anything has changed. Side booth.
Yeah.
Weird.
Jesus. Yeah.
Okay. Snatch, please.
Yeah. Did it?
Okay.
Shit.
I didn't hear what you guys.
Yeah, we can pick up next week there.
Yeah, hopefully the audio.
Now that we threatened.
Yeah.
I mean, for real, like we said.
It doesn't sound good to me still.
Okay.
Okay, let's see.
So it may not be affecting it.
Yeah, I think the Gremlins win tonight. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.